I'm rocking blessed state of mind to remind me that I'm blessed.
So before some of you wanted to be a hot girl or a city girl or somebody's sugar baby, a lot of you wanted to be a Proverbs 31 woman. What happened? Well, let me tell you what happened. Y'all are following these trends more than you are following God. So instead of being the prayer warrior, the strong woman that you are called to be in God's name and God's army in the body of Christ, you out here trying to be tender tonies and soft girl seasons or whatever the trend is now. You keep following these trends versus being who God called you to be. But when you're doing that, you're sacrificing way more than what you realize. You are sacrificing your destiny, you're delaying your purpose, and on top of that, you're losing yourself. Being a carbon copy of somebody else isn't you fulfilling the purpose that God has put in you. You still don't believe that you're following trends? The person that had you guys declaring that you were a Proverbs 31 woman anyway was an actress that was married to a minister. They're now divorced, but when she was married to this minister, she declared that she was a Proverbs 31 woman. And next thing you know, you saw it all over t-shirts, you saw it on totes, bags, hats, everywhere. They even came out with a book about how they abstained for sex and low-key affected millions, only to end up being divorced because she wanted to go back to the streets. She had a decision to make, to have the attention of this world or to have the attention of her husband. What do you think some of y'all are going through right now? Some of you are being faced with the same decision, but now she's on the arm of a man who just got convicted of domestic violence. Be careful about trying to be somebody else when God called you to be you. So for those who were declaring to be a Proverbs 31 woman at one point in time, did you ever actually read the 31st chapter of Proverbs to know who that woman was? If not, you need to go read it. In Proverbs 31, it doesn't just speak about being a wife or just a regular wife. It speaks about a virtuous wife. And it doesn't just speak about a mother. It speaks about a mother of a king. I'm not going to break it all the way down for you because you should go and read it yourself. But that Proverbs 31 woman was celebrated by her community, her children, her husband, and she can make her own everything. Everything, everything. She was basically the original INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? So do you really know what that means? That means you can't run around here trying to be somebody's sugar baby. You can't run around here demanding that you deserve more than Cheesecake Factory, because a lot of you are not qualified for what you're asking for. Which means if you're going to say that you're God's daughter, you need to figure out how to grow into being a Proverbs 31 woman. Look at the women in the Bible. They weren't sitting back and demanding to be taken care of because they looked a certain way. No, they were birthing nations. They were fighting wars. They were leading their countrymen to freedom. They were getting some things done. Go read on Esther, Deborah, Miriam, both of the Marys. Compare them to the chicks that you see on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and I guarantee you that half those females you following on social media doesn't come close to holding a candle to the women of God that's in this Bible. So I'm going to ask you again, who are you really trying to be? Because calling yourself a city girl or a hot girl or even a sugar baby when some of you are very grown and you ain't been nobody's baby for a minute is just another way of saying that you're willing to give out your body and you're willing to prostitute or hold yourself out for something of monetary value. And some of you might not be calling yourself city girls or hot girls, but your mentality is of a city girl and of a hot girl. You're not slick. They see you. You cannot step in a man's face with the intentions to use him for what he has and then get upset when he uses you for what you offer. You are not exempt from reaping what you sow, so be mindful about how you move with God's sons. If you are truly a daughter of God, what about this world do you need to put down? so that way you can do the purpose and will of God that he has placed inside of you. Some of you are delaying your own destinies. It's not because of this guy or that person. It's you and your choices and your mindsets and the things that you follow. You can't be both. You can't be a city girl and a Proverbs 31 woman. You can't do both. And there's some of you that think that you can. That's not how that works. You got to get a standard about yourself again. And you're going to have to make a decision, period, because God doesn't do that lukewarm stuff. He said, be hot or cold for me. And I suggest you make the decision for yourself before he makes it for you. Because a lot of the chicks that you are following that is influencing you and those decisions that you're making, and unfortunately is influencing your daughters, your younger sisters, cousins, they're not called like you are. Some of them don't even know what it is to really be loved for real. So what are you really trying to be, and what are you really trying to imitate? What makes you think that these heifers are telling you the truth? They're not going to tell you all the things that they have to do to get a bag, to get that money, to get that clout. Those aren't things that come from God anyway. So why are you chasing it? I understand that you want a provider, but it's up to that man if he wants to provide for you. It's not a requirement for him to spend money on you, especially when some of them don't even know what half of you really look like. Between the makeup, the body parts, the BBLs, the lace fronts, wigs, and eyelashes, they have no idea what you really look like and if they're even truly attracted to you or who you pretend to be. But the real unfortunate part is after some of you take off all of that makeup, the wigs, the eyebrows, the lashes, whatever it is that you do to beat your face, you don't even like who's looking back at you in the mirror. You don't even like what you see. How do you expect someone to love what you refuse to face? So before you have an expectation of what a man should do, how much he should spend, where he should take you, what he should drive, how he should talk, how he should dress, have some expectations about yourselves. Figure out who you are and who you're called to be versus who you pretend to be. And figure out your value within yourself first before you go put a price tag on it, hoping that he foots the bill. In a world that encourages mediocrity, we encourage greatness. We inspire boldness. Every product is a message of hope, faith, and courage to stand when the world says, lay down. Blessed State of Mind is a God-given vision come to life. High quality with a high purpose. Shop with us today at blessedstateofmind.com and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Blessed State of Mind.